Hi everyone, this is Vanessa with the Hideaway Homestead, and I'm here in the kitchen with you today. We're going to make some honey caramel popcorn. It's a special treat we really enjoy when the fall weather comes on and on movie nights. So we're going to go ahead and make that with a few simple ingredients. If you like this video, please be sure to hit like, and if you want to get more notifications of our upcoming videos, just hit the subscribe button. Now let's get started. So the first thing that we need to do is to pop 1 cup of unpopped popcorn kernels. I have a red Amish country popcorn kernels here today. Any popcorn kernels will do. This one's supposed to have fewer holes, so I'm gonna give that a try. But we're gonna do this in 2 batches. So I'm gonna measure out half a cup of popcorn. And next we want to measure out 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to use some coconut oil today. I've already kind of melted it down to make it easier to measure, but you could use vegetable, canola, olive oil, whatever oil you prefer. So, and really we just want the oil to coat the bottom of our pot. So I'm going to pour that in. Kind of swirl that around so the bottom's coated. And you want to put about maybe 3 or 4 kernels in the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and heat this up on medium-high heat. Okay. And we're going to set and wait for the kernels to all start to pop. And then once they've done that, we will remove them and get our popcorn popping. So now we wait. Before I forget, so while we wait, now's a good time to preheat your oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna be roasting the popcorn at a very low temperature to get it to caramelize, and we don't want it to burn. All right, now they've all popped. We're gonna remove them from the heat, and I'm gonna take these kernels out. And then we're gonna go ahead and add all of our kernels to the bottom. And you just wanna give them a little bit of a toss to make sure they're all coated in the oil. I'm gonna cover it for about 30 seconds. I'll go ahead and start a timer. And when it gets about 30 seconds, we'll go ahead and put it back on the heat here in a moment. So we've got our popcorn back on the heat, and we're venting it so that we don't end up with soggy popcorn. We wanna let some of the steam escape, but we're waiting for it to start popping, and it'll get popping really fast. And then after that, and the popping will start to slow down, and we can remove it from the heat. And you can hear it's really popping good right now. Yeah, don't do what I just did. Sounds like we're about done, so I'm going to remove it from the heat and just let it set for a minute because there are kernels that are still popping, and then we'll go ahead and dump those here in a second and get our second batch going. So I thought I'd show you real quick our popcorn that popped, and sorry for that, it popped up really well. And the nice thing about stovetop popcorn is I have no leftover kernels that didn't pop. Everything popped, which is gorgeous. Okay, so now that we have all of our popcorn popped, we need to start combining our first part of our ingredients for our caramel sauce. So the first thing I want to start with is half a cup of butter, or 1 stick. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in my saucepan here. And you could use coconut oil in place of the butter. I just like the flavor of butter. And we need a half a cup of honey. I'm gonna use my measuring cup that I had the coconut oil in, and the honey should come out of that pretty easily without getting stuck. So go ahead and add that. So that's half of the sweetener that I want to use. The other half that I'd like to use is half a cup of brown sugar to get that yummy molasses flavor. And the last ingredient that I want to add for the moment is 1/4 a teaspoon of sea salt. And we're gonna go ahead and take this over to the stove and start heating it up. So we wanna go ahead and heat our mixture over medium heat. And we're just gonna wait for this to melt down and let it start to simmer, and then we can cut the heat back, and we wanna let it simmer for about 5 minutes to let the sugars and everything caramelize and cook together. Okay, so our caramel sauce is ready to add our baking soda and our vanilla. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of baking soda. When you do add these ingredients, it is gonna foam up, but you can just stir it right back down. Not too bad. And we're gonna add our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And if a little extra drips in there, that's okay. Yeah, the vanilla definitely gets bubbly. So give that another good stir. And now we wanna work quickly. This isn't always my favorite part, making sure everything gets good and coated. But we're going to go ahead and start mixing this into our popped popcorn. So just go ahead and dribble some over, give it a stir. And we have a lot of popcorn to get stirred in. And I'll try to turn so you can see. And we'll add those pieces back in a minute. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this into my roasting pan. If you do not have a big roasting pan like this, feel free to use 2 brimmed cookie sheets. And you could just put them side by side or rotate them in your oven as you bake this. But we're going to be baking our popcorn at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. And every 15 minutes, we're gonna be just stirring the popcorn. And then once it's done baking, we'll let it cool and it'll be ready to eat. So we're gonna give this a quick stir. And then we're gonna pop it right back into the oven for another 15 minutes. All right, guys, and that is it. We are done baking, so now give this one more quick stir. And I'm just going to lay this out on some wax paper and let it set and cool. Can I squeeze in with you guys? Oh, here comes somebody else.
To be in the video.
To be in the video?
Is the video going right now?
Yeah.
Were you taste testing?
Yeah. So that's a wrap, guys. We're gonna let this cool and try not to eat it all before it cools. Until next time, make time for dirt time.
Pretty good.